Good morning, following the Super, 8 miles ahead, crossing weak turbulence, wind 030 at 12, runway 4 right to Salam. Quality 011 heavy, turn right heading 100, contact New York departure.
Contact departure, right turn 100, quality 01.
Asiana 222 Super, turn left Fox Bravo, hold short of runway 4 left.
Left turn Fox Bravo, hold short, left 4, left 2, Asiana.
American Muslims who find themselves on the watch list get caught up in a web of consequences that affect their daily lives. Some can't open bank accounts, while others have had their bank accounts closed without notice. Some can't make wire transfers, while others can't petition family members or spouses for visas or green cards. And many have been pressured by the FBI to act as informants against the American Muslim community, both here in the United States and abroad.
The federal watch list falsely stigmatizes and punishes American Muslims who have neither been charged nor convicted of any crime. It denigrates their dignity more than it defends America, and it makes none of us any safer. In response to this watch list, CARE Michigan has filed a class action lawsuit on behalf of the thousands upon thousands of American Muslims that have been placed wrongfully and illegally on that list.
You know, I pulled up finally to the ticket counter, or to the Customs and Border Protection booth, and had a friendly conversation with the guard that was at the booth. He took my passport from me, asked me where I went to university, where I was coming from, where I was going. It was all really friendly, but then when he scanned my passport, I saw something red pop up on the screen. His attitude changed entirely after that. He asked that I put my hands both on the steering wheel and told me to look straight ahead and not to move.
They went through my phone, they took out my memory chip, and then they looked through the information I had on the memory chip, and they didn't give it back to me. While I was in the airport, I was there for about 8 hours. They refused to give me a call. I asked to give if I can use a phone call. They interviewed me multiple times, and then in the end they brought a FBI agent to interview me. After that, they didn't give me back my memory chip.
They came out, handcuffed me, took me inside, they put me in a cell, but the cell was different. It was so cold. It has too much light for that small room.
He opened the door, told me to get out with my hands first and keep my hands held high and my body facing forward. He patted me down, and then he asked that I, without turning around, walk backwards into traffic. I started walking backwards, and I didn't really know what was going on at the time. I had my hands above my head. I looked to my left, and I saw around 4 cops standing behind like a little barrier with their hands on their hips. I looked to my right, and I saw the same thing. 4 cops on my left, 4 cops on my right, and I was like, they pulled a formation on me. I look over, and I see that all of the ticket booths had stopped taking cars through. And I'm walking backwards, and there's a voice behind me. Eventually, I reach the person that's behind me, and he takes my hands and he handcuffs me.
A couple weeks later, they came to my house to give me back my memory chip. And then they asked if they can interview me alone. And at the time, I was 18. I didn't know any better, so they took me out to eat. We went to a Mongolian barbecue. They tried to recruit me as an informant. So they were telling me stuff like, we'll teach you how to skydive, and you can use any weapon you want. And they knew I was into video games and Call of Duty and things like that. And basically, they're just using things I thought were cool at the time to try to lure me in to be an informant for them overseas. And I just wanted my name off the list.
My body started shaking out of my hand, and I started feeling that my body is shutting down, and I can't do anything about it. I'm inside the cell, no one is helping me. I just laid down in the floor, asked a few times for help. No one showed up. I think I went unconscious. I don't really know how long, but all I heard, the door was open and they asked me to get up, and I couldn't even move. All I can remember is my hand were shaking, my legs were shaking, and I was freezing. I stayed there for another 20 minutes until the ambulance came. They put me in ambulance, handcuffed me to the ambulance bed. Even the nurse told me, "Why is your lips blue? And why do you look like that?" I told her I'm freezing. They put me in a cell. And she started arguing with the officer, and he shut her down. So he told her, "Shut up."
That he knew I was a good guy. He proceeded to tell me that he knew I was a good American and that I wanted the best for America and that I cared for Libya and that I want democracy in Libya, and, you know, alluded to us establishing a kind of a relationship that was beneficial to the U.S. government somehow, you know, pretty much asking me to be an informant overseas. So I said, you know, I'm just a broke college kid just trying to, you know, keep my head down, and I just want to, you know, focus on school and graduate and you know, live my life and, you know, not deal with anything like that. And he said, well, you're broke. There's a way for us to fix that.
My biggest fear inside the cell that I was freezing in was, I thought I was gonna die in there. That's my number one fear. But at the same time, I was thinking about my family and how would they react to it, and even if they would know how did I died or where I died or even what happened to me, because if they can't keep me for that long time inside a cell, and if something happened to me, they can. I was thinking of they would, you know, take my body and no one know how I died or stuff like that. So that was my biggest fear at that time. Yeah.
It made me feel scared. Made me feel like an outsider. Actually, it made me feel like I'm being betrayed by my own country that I was born and raised in. And I told them that. I told them, I'm American. Should be no reason why you're treating me as if I'm not an American. And it doesn't seem like they understand that.
What is important here is that there's a swelling group of Americans that are being segregated and profiled and being relegated as second-class citizens based on a process that is arbitrary, that is free from accountability and scrutiny.
I feel like CARE gave me an opportunity to get my rights back that were taken from me, and I feel like this is the only way that someone can hear my voice and know what really happened to me.
And then I went home and I heard of CARE. I gave them a call, and Lena told me not to speak with them, and if they would contact me, I should give them her card, and she'll deal with them. And thankfully, she did. They tried talking to me again. I gave them her card, and right away when they seen her name, they backed off, and they didn't call me back.
The federal government violated the rights of Yasin, Usama, Anas, and countless other American Muslims throughout the country. Support CARE Michigan's efforts to ensure the government respects the rights of all Americans, including American Muslims. Visit caremichigan.org.